Welcome to my lobotomy! It's Lobotomy Hour! Welcome to the first ever Lobotomy Hour. So 7 episodes a month, I have a guest on Culture Apothecary, and each guest brings their own unique remedy to heal us at culture, physically, mentally, and spiritually. On the last Monday of every month, you get a solo episode with yours truly and my co-host, Mochi, if he behaves himself today. Because if we're going to heal a sick culture, the first person we should start with is me, the most deranged, unwell person that you know, and that is just the God's honest truth. What is the purpose of this show? Maybe you're thinking. If you're new and you are like, what the heck? I thought this girl was like very serious health and wellness podcaster. Psych! The joke is on you. I'm very sick. I can take my host hat off on this show. I can let my freak flag fly. This is like, you know, when you're like with your coworker friends and then you're with your girlfriends like out on a Friday night, like that's like the different Alex personality you get. Like this is like real Alex and I get to let this side out when I'm not like being all professional because I have a guest here, okay? It's getting my wiggles out. I don't like to be the star of my own show 99% of the time. Like I really do prefer for my guests to be the star. I hardly speak, honestly, on the regular podcast. It's all about them. But this at least allows me to give the bare minimum face-to-face time I need to so that you are all up to speed on all things Alex and Mochi Clark, who is showing his butt to the camera. Look back at it. Lobotomy Hour, like that phrase started as an inside joke a while back when I used to go live on YouTube, and I'd say that whenever things in the news or the world were making me go crazy and inspiring a lot of feels or emotions, sometimes we all just need a lobotomy. As long as my schedule permits for me to be able to film in Arizona, Mochi will be mouth breathing on these episodes next to me, unless you guys totally object. If we hate it and we don't want him here, then you just have to stay home. Sorry, Moch. But if you like it, then he can stay. I don't know. We're trying things out. We're going to become a well-oiled machine here. Just bear with me after this first episode. You kind of do want to watch on the Real Alex Clark YouTube, but some of you will ignore my Beauty and the Beast footstool, and that is your prerogative. We don't give energy to the haters, do we, Mochi? Perfect timing. Yeah, you're going to want to see him. Someone I work with at Turning Point calls him The Experiment, like first and last name, The Experiment. What do you think about that? Yeah, join us, please. Join us. Please subscribe to Culture Apothecary wherever you listen or watch and leave a 5-star review saying how much you love the show or Mochi or else you're a fake fan. On this month's Lobotomy Hour, I'm going to be focusing on short recap of the rebrand, general reception to the new name, Culture Apothecary, getting my first ever pet, and why he was rehomed. Also, I'll talk about my adventure going to Austin to be on the Skinny Confidential podcast and what I just flew in from today, testifying at the United States Senate. Your girlie was at the Hill. And that is all I have prepared. So now things are where, and that was all I had prepared. So this is where things get really unhinged. Welcome to Lobotomy Hour. Let's get lobotomized. You're fine. You're doing good boy. You're a good boy. Sitting. Pretty. So pretty. If you're new here, my podcast had an old name just a few mere months ago, and then we took the entire month of August off, relaunched, rebranded on September 9th with a brand new name, and that name is Culture Apothecary, and then this is like the spinoff show the last Monday of every month, of course. I was really expecting you guys to give me a lot more push and pull and resistance and being very stubborn. You seem to have a little stubborn streak in you, where I thought that you were going to be like, I refuse. I'm still calling it the spillover. I don't care what Alex says. I really, really thought that you were going to give me a little bit of that lip. But you've actually been unbelievably like on board with it, which just shocked me. I was anticipating a lot more pushback, and it's been like kind of a seamless transition. I really like could not have asked for more. It's just been really, really good reception and fun. It's like you guys were lobotomized and you overnight forgot the old name of the show, and I haven't seen any like quips about it. It's like a freaking Christmas miracle. Mochi's gonna try to escape, probably. Just sit. Lay down. Good boy. We're learning how to be a POS. Pet, pet on set. Without a prompter, the wheels are off. Mochi, lay down. Mochi, lay down. Don't escape. Mochi, lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Oh, dear. Lay down. He's given up. Lay down. Mochi, lay down. Sit. Sit. He's jumping. Mochi may come and go. He has no idea what it's like to be a POS, pet on set. I'm making myself cry. I'm literally crying. So we're just gonna see how this goes. Like I said, this may not actually like work out as a regular thing, but we'll just see. Anyway, rebrand went great. The thing about the rebrand that I was really scared about was I thought, okay, is it going to be a huge mistake to rebrand as a health and wellness podcast in the conservative movement during an election year? I thought, okay, we're going to do this in early September, right before the November election. Like, is anybody going to care about health and wellness? Mochi, do they care about health and wellness? I had no idea. You had no idea that everything that's happening in like the cultural zeitgeist with, you know, the conservative movement and health and wellness, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, was going to be going on. And so it just like couldn't have been more perfect freaking timing. I think that has made the reception like 10 times better. Like the branding has just made more sense than it ever could. I'm very happy with how things have been going. I think you guys are happy, and that's that. That's the rebrand. That's all I have to say about that. What is it? Say hello. Lobotomize me, Mochi. Lobotomize you. Lobotomize me and lobotomize you. It's Lobotomy Hour. Sweet and sour. You never know what you're gonna get when you bring your Mochi pet to the set. It's Lobotomy Hour with the Mochi boy. If you watched that Senate hearing and you were feeling the bug and you were like, I got to do something, I want to learn more about our food, I'm ready to get radicalized, you've got to come to the Weston A. Price Foundation's 24th annual conference, the Wise Traditions Conference. This is the conference that nourishes you in every way. You're going to enjoy nutritious food, learn healing wisdom, you're going to meet friends, be inspired. It's in Orlando, Florida, October 25th through 27th. I am going to actually be there. And you are going to come because you are going to learn how to stay healthy in a toxic world. You're going to get clarity on which foods will truly nourish you and your family. You're going to learn about raw milk. You're going to learn how to get raw milk. You're going to explore solutions for your health concerns, be inspired by ancestral dietary wisdom, and be a part of a vibrant, growing community. They also have delicious, traditionally prepared, real food meals. I mean, like, there's some speakers that I'm hyped to see, but also the fact that they serve you Weston A. Price Foundation approved meals. Stop! You know it's going to be amazing. Code Alex for $25 discount at registration. Link is in the show notes. But right before the rebrand, something else happened. I got this little pig. Flew to Spokane, Washington. I've never been to the state of Washington before, to pick him up in a motel parking lot at a truck stop, like the little whore he is. This dog literally fell into my lap. When you hear this story, you're going to understand how it was meant to be. I had been obsessed with this breed, the Pekingese breed, for months. I had been like researching the crap out of it. Like, oh my gosh, first of all, I'm not a pet person. I've never wanted to be a pet person. I've always said I'll never own a pet. I'll never have a pet in my house, always. And then I became obsessed with this breed, and I just thought, oh my gosh, like, I think I could become a dog person only for this breed though. Everything I learned about this breed's personality, how weird it looks, like everything about it was attractive to me. Like, that is me and a dog. And so I had to have it. And so I started like reaching out to all of these different breeders and being like, you know, can you just tell me what it's like to own one? What are the differences between Pekingese boys and Pekingese girls? You know, what is the upkeep like on their hair? Do you think that they could handle living in Scottsdale? Because this type of dog really prefers cold weather. They love being freezing cold. Like, he always wants to sit on a cold floor. He doesn't want any blankets. He doesn't want to hide under blankets. He doesn't want to be in bed, which I wouldn't let him in bed with me anyway. He wants to sit on like a cooling mat. If I travel with him in the car, he has to ride on an ice pack That's something interesting. But he is a Chinese breed, and Chinese royalty used to keep these in their sleeves and fling them at enemies like weapons. Can you believe that? Look how good your life is. That could have been you. So I had been contacting breeders, and I think one of you guys had DM'd me and you said, like, Alex, like, if you're really interested in Pekingese, I happen to know like the championship breeder of Pekingese dogs in the United States for like the last couple years. And he's this like sweet little old man. He would be absolutely floored if you texted him or called him and said like, hello, you don't know me, but a stranger on the internet gave me your name and said that you help show Pekingese dogs. I just want to learn about them. Could you tell me? And they said he would be so excited. So I did that, and he was excited. And he even sent me a little picture of him with his winners and was like, this is me. A couple weeks later, he texts me and he says, Alex, are you still interested in a Pekingese? I said, why do you ask, mister? And he said, I know somebody who something came up. They're needing to rehome their pet. They live in Washington. He's 3 years old. He has no like major problems or anything. She just needs to rehome him. And if you're interested, I can give you her number so you can reach out and talk. So I reached out to her. I said, hello. My name is Alex. So-and-so gave me your number and I'm interested in possibly getting a Pekingese. Can you tell me about why you're rehoming your pet? And basically the situation is that his mom was breeding other types of pets. Like she had a certain cat breed. She was doing like shows with them and stuff. And he was just the pet. But she felt like she became too busy to like really give him the love and attention that he deserves, which is ironic because I am so incredibly busy, but I'm trying my best. And also she said, it's Washington, it snows like knee deep. And she said, I just can't do between you and I another winter of like letting him out to go to the bathroom with his hair and like getting sopping wet with snow every single time he goes to the bathroom. And I was like, you know what? That's totally fair. She had him for 3 years. She flew to Portugal to get him. So he's from Portugal, and she flew out there and brought him over here 3 years ago when he was a baby, and had him ever since. And she really seemed like a great owner. It's just that, it was just time for her to move on due to circumstances. So anyway, he was really shy at first. He was not showing like any personality. He was just hiding all the time. And then like, lo and behold, spending several days with him, he just started showing more and more of his true self, doing his little zoomies and just going crazy, as I call it, flopping over so that I'll rub his belly and all that kind of good stuff. So now I feel like we're pretty acclimated to each other, although now he's trying to escape me. Do you want to jump? I kind of know now how he's. Now see, this is what he does. He hates being warm, and he's too warm on this chair. And so he wanted to flop down and sit on the cold floor. And that's what's going on. Mochi cam. Yes, I know what you did. I haven't taken him to a groomer yet. I haven't taken him to a vet personally yet. He had gone to one right before I got him and made sure he was all updated so I could get his papers and all that kind of stuff. But as far as me, we haven't done any of those adventures yet. So that's probably coming soon. Well, definitely, I'm going to be bringing him home to my parents' house in Indiana for Thanksgiving for that entire week. So he's going to be meeting my parents for the first time. My dad's super excited to meet him. I think it's great, giving my dad something to look forward to. He's always like, when's Mochi coming? Wanting me to send him pictures and updates and stuff, which is great. I love that I can give my dad something to like be excited about. So I think that's going to work out really great. This has the unhinged ramblings of the live streams that we used to do, but I'm trying to keep it together. So then the next life update, this month has been insane. So it's probably not going to be this many exciting life updates all the time. Like this month just happened to be so out of the ordinary for me, like exciting things going on with getting a dog and the rebrand and Skinny Confidential and like testifying at the Senate and all this. That normally is not my life, okay? Most of the time we're probably going to be gossiping about like some topics that are in like the news or whatever that I want to talk about, like that still are on brand for health and wellness. I do have to tell you about going on the Skinny Confidential. Now, if you are subscribed to my weekly newsletter, then you already got a little tit for tat, a little taste, if you will, a little appetizer of my Skinny Confidential adventure. I gave you pictures exclusively that I haven't posted anywhere. I gave you like behind the scenes details, but basically I am like a Dear Media super fan. So I have always wondered, like, what is it like? Like, how do they run their shows? What does their office look like? How big is it? Where is it? You know, I think for me, being a podcaster, that kind of stuff I nerd out on. And some of you were like, okay, this whole podcast, like, it wasn't that health and wellnessy. It was like very like focused on like how they run their business. I'm like, okay, yes, but I did throw in health and wellness in there. And that's the thing. That's why you cannot keep me in any little boxes, because I can make any interview with any guest that I want fit in my healing a sick culture, physically, mentally, spiritually. I just will pop in a few questions about those topics, which I did. It was a great interview. It was super fun. And you know what? Those of you who are fans of the Skinny Confidential, you appreciated it. You understood. And Lauren was so kind. She texted me and said, I think that is my most favorite interview that anybody has ever done of me. And so that just like was surreal, because I am such a fan of them and a fan of their show. And a lot of what I have learned about interviewing and picking guests, I feel like I have picked up on listening to them in their show for the last several years. I talked about this on their interview with me. I would not be into health and wellness if it wasn't for their show. I was getting my lashes done with my lash girl during the pandemic. She wanted me to listen to an episode that they had done with this girl talking about how Adderall was basically legal methamphetamine. And I had never heard anything like that when it came to prescription drugs ever. I didn't know anything about the opioid crisis. I never looked into OxyContin, how we got the, opioid epidemic, any of that. So all of that was new to me, that like they could have a legal drug on the market that was really actually terrible for you. Never looked into it until that episode. And that was because of them. So if you are here because of health and wellness, you owe Lauren and Michael Bostic a thank you. Okay? Okay. Oh, here's something weird that happened that I haven't talked about. I show up there, we probably wait for like 15 minutes, and we're sitting in this conference room that has glass doors. And I see this couple walk out in front of me, and I literally think, man, that is crazy. From the back, that really looks just like Michaela Peterson and her husband. Her and I both live in Phoenix too. So it wouldn't be crazy for me to think that, be like, could that be Michaela if I was local? But I was in Austin. I was literally out of state on this certain day at a specific time. And I see this couple and I'm like, so weird. It was like a fleeting thought, like so weird that looks like Michaela Peterson and her husband. Guess what? It was Michaela and her husband. I go in there to film with Lauren and Michael, and they're like, blah, 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 yeah, we just filmed with Michaela. And I was like, you are freaking kidding me. So I didn't like reach out and say anything, because I was like, I don't know who those people are, because I couldn't see their faces. I only saw like the back of them by the time I glanced up. So I didn't say anything, but it was so weird. So Michaela Peterson ended up doing a podcast swap with Lauren right before me. But the way, and they talk about this on my episode, the way that they run things is freaking nuts. I don't know. I am like really exhausted after one interview. But I also I might record a little bit longer than Lauren and Michael. They keep things pretty speedy, 45 minutes to an hour, it seems. I frequently go over that. So for me, I am like really, really emotionally spent, like done talking for the day. By the time I'm done filming, like I'm pretty much a mouse. Like I go nonverbal in the gerbil, you know what I mean? They were talking about how they film, like they just film back to back. So that means they interviewed Michaela, she interviewed that. Then they went and filmed an hour with me, and immediately back to back, I filmed an hour with them. Like that is really incredible stamina, honestly, for hosts. Exactly the same people that you see offset, onset, very kind. Lauren is really good about like, sit here, let me get a picture of you here, let me do this. This is a cute area, like all of that, very sweet. And she is just so teeny tiny, beautiful in person, like perfect skin, everything. Like that girl is exactly what she looks like on Instagram. Like she is really flawless. I have another big announcement. When I was in DC for the Senate hearing, I got to go to dinner with the really tan man and the olive oil queen and the really tan olive oil baby. I got to meet the founders of Masa Chips. I've actually never met them before. We've talked a lot. I just haven't met them in person. And they drove down from Jersey. They attended the hearing. This is what I mean when I say, like, guys, the price is worth it. These are the types of people that you are supporting. People that are going to take the time out of their day to drive with their little baby 3 hours so they can spend 4 hours in a hearing because it has to do with fixing our corrupt food system. These are good people who make incredible freaking chips. Alyssa's in here, my friend. Alyssa, how good are masa chips?
Amazing.
Amazing, she says. I took them on this cabin trip with them. She's one of the people that went on the cabin trip. They couldn't stop gushing about them, immediately placed an order. Yeah, she was there. Masa chips are only 3 ingredients: organic corn, beef tallow, and sea salt. It doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get cleaner than that. They are also the best tasting seed oil free chips that you will ever have. No other seed oil free chip is even close. I honestly think the other seed oil free chips on the market are kind of disgusting. When you support Masa Chips, you are supporting a small family who is just trying to make big strides against big food. Go to masachips.com. Use code RealAlexClark for 20% off your first purchase of Masa Chips. That's masachips.com with code RealAlexClark for 20% off your first purchase of seed oil-free tortilla chips. Link in the show notes. Speaking of the Skinny Confidential, in my interview where Lauren and Michael interviewed me, she asked me to go through my purse. And of course, I whipped out one of my Garnu tampons and talked about how you can't trust any of those other freaking tampon brands because they're all saturated with heavy metals. You've got to have 100% organic cotton only. That is it. Garnu has regular pads, panty liners, light tampons, super tampons, overnight pads, period cups. I mean, you name it, they've got it. And they are loud and proud about being a period company for girls only. They are conservative owned, okay? I love that about Garnu. And I love that with each purchase, a little bit goes towards fighting human trafficking in Nepal. Go to garnu.com, use code Alex for 15% off. That's garnuu.com with code Alex for 15% off. Garnu means rescue in Nepal because of their mission to help with human trafficking. I just love it! And they have the cutest freaking packaging, the cutest boxes. Finally, you're gonna be excited for your period to come because you get this cute box delivered to your door every month. You can also do a one-time purchase if you just wanna try. If you don't wanna commit to a subscription, which I recommend because you do not want to be starting your period and out of tampons, because then you're gonna have to go to the drugstore and get some crappy ones that have glyphosate on them, and we don't want that. So garnuu.com, code Alex, 15% off. Try Garnu 100% organic tampons today. So that was my Skinny Confidential trip. Now, what was supposed to happen during that trip is I was supposed to do another interview, but my guest got sick and had to cancel last minute. And that interview was with Jason Karp. So this is a little behind the scenes tea of like what to expect probably in the new year. But Jason Karp ended up being on my Senate testimony hearing panel with me on chronic disease and food and pharma in America that I just did. I actually just flew in this morning. I'm not kidding you. I had to get on the flight Washington, D.C. time at 7 a.m. I had to wake up at like 4:45 to get up, pack my bag, and get to the airport with enough time to check bags, all of that stuff. So I am disgusting. I had no time to do professional hair and makeup for these shoots. We're just rocking and rolling, honestly. I breezed in. I had 10 minutes before my guest came that I filmed before I filmed this. And that was it. That was my day. So all of that being said, I was in Washington, D.C. to testify to the frickin' United States Senate. Me, a literal worm. He's back, baby. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. You wanna come up here? You wanna come up here? Will you sit with me? Will you sit with me? Will you sit? You wanna come up? Nope. He wants to be cold. Okay, bye. Here's how the Senate hearing happened. I get a text from Callie Means saying, "Are you free on September 23rd? Now, I already know that we are up to some monkey business if Callie Means is asking me that, because he doesn't just ask you willy-nilly for no reason. I'm like, he's going to have me doing something very scary that I do not want to do, that I'm going to be very scared to try for the first time. It was testifying at the frickin' Senate. I need you to know this about me. I am always going to say no before I say yes. I am somebody who is I always second guess myself. I doubt myself. I am always very trepidatious about new things. It takes somebody really pushing me to try something and encouraging me and being like, you're just going to do it sink or swim. Except when I was about 5 years old, I digress. Otherwise, it really does take somebody just being like, you're going to do this. You're going to be uncomfortable and scared, but like, we're going to get through it with you. And so that was me. I said to Callie immediately, I cannot do that, Callie. Like, thank you so much. But no, I cannot do that. Like, I have no credentials. I don't even know what happens during a Senate testimony. Are they going to grill me? Is it like that where they're asking you questions and like challenging you? And it's like that kind of a format? Because absolutely not. I would be horrible. He was like, you're going to be fine. Here's who's on it. And then it was like, he ghosted me for days, like didn't say anything. It was the food babe ended up calling me. She's like, oh my gosh, so you're joining us on the panel? And I was like, no, I am not. I literally said, I am not doing this. I cannot do this. I think Callie is just a little over his head. Maybe he fell short on some people. He was panicking. He didn't have enough people to ask or something. And he accidentally texted me. That's what happened. He accidentally texted me because my name starts with A and I happened to like show up on his phone and he's going to be like, just joking, change my mind. We're going to go with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. I am not the expert on any of these topics. All I do is interview the experts and I talk to millennial moms every day. And Vonnie and Callie and everybody was like, great, do that. Like literally that's you. Like everybody else is going to be the expert. They're going to be hyper focused on a certain topic or expertise. And you are just going to be like the voice of the people person. And I said, okay, I can write it. I can have notes. I don't have to memorize it because I don't do memorizing. They said, yes, we're all going to have written speeches and casual format. And like this panel could change the world. RFK Jr. is going to be there. Like it's going to be phenomenal. Like once in a lifetime, you have to do it. And so I basically screamed, cried, and threw up for a week and was just working on drafts and drafts and drafts. I am not joking you. If you are one of the people who helped me on this freaking speech, I owe you my life. So I had written like the bare bones main ideas of what I wanted to cover, came up with a whole storyline, some of my like quippy like one-liners. That's like what I'm good at thinking. And then I was like, I need someone to help make sure, double check all my stats, all that kind of stuff. And so I sent it to like freaking Taylor Dukes. I sent it to Dr. Gator from California. Callie, of course, was looking at it. The food babe was looking at it. Courtney Swan was looking. I literally sent this speech to like 100 people to like double check me, fact check me, make sure this makes sense. Like, is this even good? How it worked was they bring us all in. And then the night before they all take us to the Joe's Seafood and Steak, this really nice restaurant in DC. And then this is like a room with all the people that spoke and then some others. Some Congressman Thomas Massey was there. And everybody just goes around and like talks about like, my expertise is, clinical psychology, whatever it was. I'm just making stuff up. And they're like all going around the room, like talking about, what their expertise is. And then it gets to me and I'm like, I'm just going to be speaking from the point of view of millennial moms. And I'm just going to be their voice and I'm going to talk about birth control. And everybody was like, okay. I for sure had major imposter syndrome. And I know everybody was like, what is this girl doing here? I sat at a table with Michaela Peterson, her husband, Courtney Swan, her fiance, Hector, and Max Lugavere. So that was who was at my table. You had like RFK Jr. at one table, Grace Price at another, Vonnie, the food babe. So we all go out to eat. And then the next morning we all link up and we go to the Hill. And they have us meet with all of these staffers. And it's like a bunch of kids basically like just out of college that are working on the Hill. And it's like a cocktail hour, but no alcohol. It was like a breakfast cocktail hour where it was like little breakfast foods and bars and stuff. And then whoever wanted to on the panel before the main panel was able to like in this little room give a speech just to these workers. A few people opted to do that. I didn't. I only had my one written speech for the day and that was all I was doing because I'm the type of person, if it's not written down, I don't want to give speeches. I don't do speeches if it's not written. I am not Allie Beth Stuckey, who is incredibly talented and gifted. That girl, I could be like, here's your topic, go. And she would just freaking, be able to do it. That's her strength. My strength is interviewing people and reading written words. Clearly that wasn't written. So we pump up these staffers and then it's time to go down into like, what is it? The chamber, the catacombs? What the heck is that? It's like literally underground tunnels under the Senate. I didn't even know that existed. I am so clueless on this stuff, you guys. It's kind of honestly bad. Like it's embarrassing. My history class in high school was first period. Now, my team knows this about me. You may not, but I am always late. Always. It's a very bad character flaw. It's probably a sin. I almost failed that class because I never showed up because I was always late. Pulling up in my little silver Jetta with my Hello Kitty sticker on the back. That was me. Bass bumping, turned all the way up obnoxiously. That was me. 2005 silver Jetta. So I did not know that there were tunnels under the Senate. I did not know that there was a subway train under there. I didn't know that we had beautiful exposed brick. I didn't know that there was a gorgina. Probably shouldn't say that when I'm talking about serious politics. I didn't know that there was a gorgeous library and they do like a little Barnes & Noble window of like, here's like Senator's picks of the month of like cool books. And it's like stuff I'm reading. Oh my gosh. Hopefully by the time this comes out, there should be a photo dump I'm going to post on Instagram. I'm going to do a photo. There's a photo dump on Instagram at Real Alex Clark. I'll show you can look on there. I have a picture of this Senate library window where all the like different senators got to show like, what am I reading this month? And it was like literally all health and wellness books. I was like, stop. Either they did this for this hearing or the tides are turning. And I think the tides were turning. By the way, this freaking panel is like 4 hours long. And I am going last. And I think they wanted me to go last probably because I was the one that wasn't credentialed. It was like, we'll just throw her at the end because like, you know, nobody knows who she is and like doesn't know what she's talking about, which I was happy for. I was scared to go first. I mean, you had freaking Jordan Peterson was on this panel, Jillian Michaels, hello. So I am sitting there listening to all of these people give these just bomb, amazing testimonials. You know, one after one after one, RFK Jr., like, are you kidding me? So I'm like listening to all this, sitting there like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I'm just going to floor it, and just give it like my all, like go full throttle, full emotion, like full Alex. And that's going to be my like way to oomph and like bring this thing to an end. And so I'm like, was it awesome or was it a little cringe? It was probably a little bit of both, you know, had a little bit of that type of like, was it a little too much? But you know what? What the hell? Testifying to the Senate, it's like, I think I did my best. I think it turned out, it could have been worse, could have been way worse. So I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud. How many days are we out from the election now? 60 something, 40 something? It's getting close. But the thing is, you don't have to wait until November to vote. You can actually vote every day with your dollar. At goodranchers.com, you can make a powerful choice to vote for American meat, support American agriculture, and make your voice heard for transparency in our food, just like I did at the Senate. Good Ranchers sources all their meat exclusively from American farms in the Midwest, and they make sure that they support all the same causes that you and I do. We're talking about American-raised meat with no antibiotics, no added hormones or seed oils ever. By shopping from goodranchers.com, you're making a statement about the kind of values that you stand for. Values of quality, hard work, and dedication to American tradition. And right now, Good Ranchers is having a presidential promo. For a limited time, you can get a free add-on for a whole 4 years, an add-on of meat for a whole 4 years. That means when you subscribe to any of their boxes, you get to decide if you want extra plain chicken breast, Angus ground beef, Applewood smoked bacon, or wild-caught salmon in every order for 4 years. It is the perfect way to ensure that you always have high-quality American meat in your kitchen. Every cut is pre-trimmed, individually packed, and vacuum sealed, which makes your life easier. No more messy meal prep and no more wasted food because of freezer burn or poor store packaging. Use my code Clark to claim this presidential promo worth over $1,200 and bring 100% American meat to your family meals until 2028. GoodRanchers.com, code Clark. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. Howdy doody whack-a-mody, it's Alex here. Are you drowning in student loan debt? Do you feel like there's no way out of it? Are you discovering that your whole family is affected by this? If you have private student loan debt and are behind or even in default, you gotta call my friends at YRefy. YRefy refinances private student loans that others won't touch and provides you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. They can reduce your monthly payment and your total cost, and they don't care what your credit score is. YRefy is not a debt settlement company. You're going to receive a low fixed interest rate that you couldn't get anywhere else and a pathway to making all the stress and worry come to an end, finally. Just give them a call at 888-502-2612. That's 888-502-2612 or go to yrefy.com. That's letter Y, REFY.com. If private student loan debt is wrecking your life, it doesn't have to. Take it from me. Call YRefy at 888-502-2612 or go to yrefy.com. May not be available in all states. I was blown away by how many Cuteservatives ended up being there in the Senate with me for this testimony. I honestly just didn't think anybody would come. Like, I didn't think anybody from me would come. I thought people are going to show up for Jordan Peterson, obviously. People are going to show up for the food babe, obviously. Callie Means, Dr. Casey Means, RFK Jr., hello. So like, I was like, okay, these are people that are going to have like people there supporting them, and I'm just going to be like the Lone Ranger. And you guys came, and there was a line of people wanting to say hi and get pictures, and you guys were like Cuteservatives that came far and wide, and I was blown away. And that was like the greatest surprise ever after such a big life moment to like have support in the room, because I had nobody else. That was just like the nicest thing you guys could have ever done for me. So if you came in person and sat in there for 4 freaking hours, you are a hero, and I cannot thank you enough and express to you my gratitude of how much that touched me and how much that truly meant to me and made the entire day. Mochi, are you gonna come say goodbye? You're gonna be a star. I don't know that he likes being a POS, pet on set. And so that is my story. That's my story, Mochi. Mochi, are you ready to go home? You're ready to get down. Yep, time to go. All right, so this was a little unhinged. I'm gonna tailor this up. We had to do a little trial and error, see what was gonna be going on with these things. I will have, you know, more interesting things to talk about that will pertain to you that are not just my life next month. But I do have exciting things going on next month. I'm gonna be going to the Wise Traditions Conference. Hilda Labrada Gore, Wise Traditions, Weston A. Price. I'm gonna be going to that in Orlando towards the end of the month. So if you are planning on going or were thinking about going, or you live in the Orlando area, you should come. Their conference is cool because it's like all health and wellness, but also I think we do like a farm tour and all kinds of like fun activities. So it's like very, very cool stuff. If you want to go to the Wise Traditions Conference with me, there is a discount code. You can use code Alex for $25 off at registration. We'll put the link in the show notes so that you can find that and you can come. I'm going to be going to Ohio to see some girlfriends. We do a little trip every year, I think. I also have some pretty huge yet to be announced events that might be happening. Okay, here's another thing that's happening next month that I'll get to talk about after. I'm going to be going to this Kellogg's protest that the Food Babe is hosting in Michigan. So the public is invited. We want as many people showing up to this protest, which you need to be following the Food Babe on Instagram to see where, when, why, how, all of the things. It's in Battle Creek, Michigan or something. Very perfect name. But we're going to be showing up to the Kellogg's headquarters, and we're going to be asking questions and demanding to know why they are fine with serving American children one type of cereal, but giving kids around the world way, way, way better quality cereal without artificial dyes and the like. So this is going to be a historic protest. We're planning for some pretty big special guests. So if you are in the Michigan Midwest area there, Chicago, Northern Indiana, definitely come to that. And I would love to see you at that. And this is the thing. Jason Karp talked about this on the panel, the Senate hearing panel. If all of us decided to boycott one brand just for a short amount of time, and they saw their sales only drop 5%, they would make moves. They would acquiesce to whatever we are asking. And all we are asking is for them to put the same product, by the way, that they make in the United States and give to other children around the world to our kids. They literally make the product in America and then ship it out so those kids get better quality and then make a separate, worse quality to our kids. It's disgusting, and we want it to end, and we're demanding it end. So we really have a lot of power as women, the people that are typically the ones that are deciding what goes in the grocery cart. So if we all show up and we have a massive number, guys, this is gonna be like full throttle press. This is gonna be like historic, changing the food industry moves that you could be a part of. So please come with me. Okay, that was a lot of catching up, but I hope you enjoyed being lobotomized. Thumbs up, subscribe, whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening. I'm Alex Clark, and this was Lobotomy